Oh, where'd my hat go? Oh,
Okay, we're
go ahead.
live. We're live.
Good morning, Nancy Jane.
Good morning, Scott.
So I am in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Yeah, you need to turn your hat upside down. It should say an M, not a W.
Yeah, and I got my hat last night from the
Oh,
event,
very good.
Ancient Aliens Live. So it was a lot of the stuff that we read on with Andrea with Mystery Theater, and
Mm-hmm.
a few things were interesting. I found it kind of funny that they talked. The one guy's been going to Skinwalker Ranch for the last 4 or 5 years, he said, and
Travis.
they haven't found anything that they can discern what it is. I'm like, well, you're not gonna. It's like you spent 5 years and you found nothing yet. It's like you ought to walk away from that one, buddy. But anyway, it was fun. Um, Aries girl of Virgo Moon, Allison. She
Mm-hmm.
lives here, so we went to the event together. And she was gonna join us, but she had to run into work.
Oh, how unfortunate.
But that was it was nice to meet one of our community members and
Mm-hmm.
subscribers, and she's been putting some tarot out there about mostly love and you know Taurus signs and whatnot, that kind of thing. But she's been joining us on Tuesdays for some readings, so it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice to meet her. We went for dinner and went to the event, and it was neat.
Cool.
So I might have to cut this off about an hour. Got to get kicked out of the hotel.
Mm-hmm. You're
So
gonna force him to go back to Wisconsin.
yes, 6 7 hour drive.
Mm.
So anyway, so it's a little. I can't get the light any better. It's a little darker, but we're gonna have to roll with it.
That's right. So, what are we going to kick
So
off with?
any in there, um, Jeff Bailey got on early. He wants to know about the gray aliens first.
Mm-hmm.
He heard or feels something that. Oh, where'd my comments go? There we go. Okay. He heard maybe that they're influencing our government or something, or got a hit on something, but he wanted us to check in.
Okay, so I'm going to put out 5 cards on
Everybody,
if they're. I've heard two.
okay, I'm gonna grab my oracle deck for this.
Okay.
That sounds good. Would you hear or feel?
Hmm?
You were gonna
I've
say something?
heard I've heard that a while ago, a long time ago, they the Greys were here doing malevolent things and they were actually sort of thrown off the planet. That's what my ET talking friends tell me. I've never met one, don't know one personally, as far as I know. Um,
I know either.
but
Funny when
I've
you look.
seen there's been kind of a change in some of the ET programs on TV, and they used to always, be kind of like kind of more neutral. But there's one that just started up again, and when they this last week when they were running a lot of shows, getting ready for the new season of shows, they started running back to back. There's something about aliens, and it has a commentator, and I cannot remember his name. He's really kind of always been the nice guy in the world of ghosts and ETs and stuff. He's on this show, and they're like forced births with gray aliens. I mean, it's like the weirdest. So I watched a couple of them and I went, this is a really dark turn. But, there's a lot of people, and this was a big pitch when the Space Force started. We have to be prepared to protect ourselves from the aliens, you know.
And okay, using my oracle deck has gray aliens in it. It says
Mhm.
no, they're not influencing anything in our government or anything like that.
Yeah,
I
that's
have
kind of what you
divine.
so
I have they're around for unconditional love now.
okay, yeah. What I
They're
got
they're
was
part of the universe.
mhm.
It has our back. Prayers are answered. Help is on the way. So they may be showing themselves pretty soon, like we said, like years,
Mm-hmm.
they're helping to activate our DNA to make us more aware. Those in the
Mm-hmm.
family, here I have they're coming.
Mm-hmm.
This is them coming down with the choices, and then also have some patience. My 6 cards here to come out say nothing about malevolent intent right now.
Mine don't either. My card starts. This is the steampunk deck, and this is the devil reverse. So they were never up to bad things. It's somebody saying things like that to try and get us to be protective. That's the 9 of Wands, but they really don't care all that much about us. And then the other two parts are the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Wands. And mine basically they're saying no, and the pages are saying they're just messengers.
Yeah, it, it depends actually what kind of grays you talk about,
Mm-hmm.
because like back in the day, there's all been that talk with the ancient aliens crew and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. That a lot of those grays that people were seeing, or even the ones that were coming down to take people for experiments and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
weren't actually biological beings. They were souls in like robot form.
Mm-hmm.
Like a created biological entity, like Data on Star Trek.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing. So a lot of them, I mean, you gotta dissociate what type you're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
because the taller than these little gray ones that they're talking about, more like they talk about those Zeta Reticuli type or whatnot.
Right. I've heard that there's a theory that the beings that flew the saucer into Roswell by accident, theoretically, that they were like cadets. They're like little robots. They train to go out and do those sorts of things so that they
Yeah.
don't have to mess with it.
Plus, like I've talked about it before, maybe you think this too, but a person from another galaxy per se, there's a different atmosphere. So you'd
Mm-hmm.
almost have to change your DNA to adapt to here with our elements.
Mm-hmm.
So another planet somewhere else has the exact same composition of gases as we do.
I know that's our little Martian spacesuits when we deal with it. So I think
Back in the day, they were supposed to beware, be afraid. I perceive their discarnate energies. They aren't here to scare us. Yeah, they can come in, we want to say, kind of like in transparent form. Good morning, Deanne. How you doing? So
well
yeah,
we're
generally they're here
all
to.
at the end of it, we're all just energy, and they're just energy in another form that kind of gets trapped.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think ghosts can do things that are malevolent, so I won't go there. But that the
Yeah,
one I met was
no,
not
they
nice.
can.
Okay, let's see. Scott's freezing because, and I don't know if I'm coming through if Scott's freezing, but he's on a hotel connection. And if you've ever run internet out of a hotel, you understand. So we're going to try to make the best of this that we can and say, remember the show we did then? Because he's frozen, frozen, frozen. And I don't even know if he knows he's frozen, but he is. He probably thinks I'm frozen. See, it's all in the perspective where your energy is. Okay.
We're back.
You're back. I can hear you. Yeah, you're back
Can you hear
now.
me?
Yeah. I was explaining you're in a hotel room
Did
and
you freeze? Okay.
I didn't freeze, you froze. But I don't
Yeah.
know if you're
So,
frozen, if the
oh,
message
I
can
froze.
get okay. Put am I'm
Okay. Hopefully this sticks.
okay. We'll see.
So you're seen, so you can go on without me.
You know me, I'll just go on. Scott
um,
will catch up with us one day.
yeah, I think Jeff was saying he's
He's
okay. They're fine.
mm-hmm. Okay.
All right.
Oh,
Hopefully this sticks around.
we have someone from Flanders, Belgium, who's getting to see the very best internet in America.
Okay. You remember I sent you the article
Oh
about
yeah,
this, right?
yeah. There's been a lot of talk about that down here. You know, when he got the settlement where
Nice.
he had to settle with his employees that all walked out on him because he was trying to get them to do illegal things. His whole office walked out, including the secretaries. I mean, everybody. And this was for entertainment purposes only because I do live in Texas. Um, Everybody's got their shorts in a knot here because the way that settlement read, the money that three plus $1 million they're paying the people to settle it uh, is coming out of state funds. So now all of a sudden, even the Republicans are saying, no, it's not. Ken's got the money. But there's another case that started 7.5 years ago against Ken Paxton, and he ripped off a bunch of people in a stock deal. And other people who were involved in it have already been charged and tried. I think some of them went to jail, but they all paid heavy duty fines. He's managed to tap dance around that for 7 years because he's a member. I mean, there's been all kinds of stories about why. Anyway, right after Ken Paxton settled his lawsuit with the employees, these are two different lawsuits, folks, that he'd fired. The weird thing was when you read in the detail here in Texas, his employees didn't have a no talkie clause. No, they could go out and they could say whatever they want to say about it. There was a no thing of non-disclosure with him. And I thought, that is so wild. Why are they doing that? Because whenever people settle that kind of crap, there's always, but we won't discuss it again. It's behind us now. Well, now I know the DOJ is coming in from DC. They've taken the whole case that's been sitting doing nothing in among the feds in Texas back to DC, and I hope they finally get him. Just get it done with. I'm so sick. Last year there was a big story in Texas where they came to serve some papers on him, and he dove in his wife's car and roared away to avoid the process server. So this is the head of our law enforcement in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think I'm seeing both. I have both the Wheel of Fortune and the World in my card in my throw.
mm-hmm.
I think the culmination is finally going to catch up to him. I do with the 8 of Swords, the 7 of Swords, and the 7 of Wands moving forward, which means he did it to himself.
Mm-hmm.
With the dirty dealings, there's some lies here with the 7 of Swords, and he's going to be defending himself. A little bit of confusion. He's trying to throw it off the rails, but I think justice is going to come in here and sort of truth. I do feel he could be hauled in at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing like jail time, but I feel a court case which he's going to have to pay out himself.
I got this in the middle of my reading, but uh-huh. So he's going to get caught. He's going to get
win.
Yeah, this time he's going to have to answer to somebody instead of just running away and driving away in his wife's car.
Yeah, there's 2 suits against him, isn't there?
No, the second one's the one they settled where he had all of his employees had quit, and then he went after them, and they quit because he was trying to rig a land deal for a friend of his, and he told them to use the official state things to do it. And they're maybe young lawyers, but they were smarter than Alina Baba, who handed over that sheet to the government and said, "Oh yeah, we've looked diligently." They weren't going to do that for him, and it stopped the whole deal, and it brought up a whole lot of other problems that were in his office. So, yeah, don't ask me why other people in the state keep electing him. Trust me, the joys of my life are going to vote against Greg Abbott and him.
Yeah, it's just unreal that they got,
mm-hmm.
hoodwinked the people to vote for them again when they're such criminals. Okay. Justice will come finally for Mr. Paxton.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was it? The last, like you said, he ran away in his wife's car to avoid being served.
Mm-hmm.
And then he lied on the cameras that that's not what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
They were threatening my family.
No, your behavior is threatening your family.
Such a horrible man. Okay.
Matt Gaetz.
So you heard supposedly the DOJ said they're not charging him
Oh,
again.
they're not going to charge him on this round. But what I saw the day that happened, and I was just kind of looking for myself, and the extreme impression I get is Matt Gaetz is going to get Epstein. They're going to let him think he's off, and then they're going to come get him when they can really get him. They really need to get him outside the state of Florida, because Florida is probably the only place I honestly think is more corrupt than Texas.
Well, if you remember, I think we talked about it,
Mm-hmm.
that one of the guys in his circle with Greenberg committed suicide.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
So he could have been one of those people that are going to testify.
They don't have good witnesses.
Last time this came out, I was sensing like they needed cooperation from a woman yet
Mm-hmm.
to make it solid, because Greenberg isn't a great witness. Young girls that are on escort sites aren't great witnesses, but they needed a secure one. Well, maybe they couldn't secure that testimony, but the DOJ hasn't said anything.
Mm-hmm.
They suspected last time Gaetz's lawyers put out that info.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to keep an open mind on reading this, because the DOJ hasn't officially came out. It was just an unnamed source, right?
I thought Friday they did. They didn't put out like a press release, but they said no, there'll be no. His lawyer. Well, it is his lawyer, and if his lawyer was lying, the DOJ would say no, that's not true. They're letting them handle the press on it. The DOJ doesn't even want to go there. But we can see if it be held accountable.
Yeah, we'll see what comes up.
Okay.
Open mind.
Well, I got a big fat yes that they're going to make him accountable. It's been hard for them emotionally to let this thing go. Because they've had the moon. It's really depressing to them that they couldn't get further with the information they have. But I got the Ace of Pentacles. They don't have in hand. It's reversed. They don't have in hand what they need today. But like I said, they've cut them loose. They're just going to let them run and go make mistakes again, because as we all know, if we learn nothing else from Trump, if they start to crime, they continue to crime. And they're going to get their goal, which is to get him. But get him that way.
Yeah, Matty Ice is going down. There's a tower coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
Truth is coming of what he's been involved in. So he's going to drastically change his life, sort of truth coming, and then there's a pause here.
Mm-hmm.
No inspection. I have investigations are ongoing. Justice and judgment is coming upon him. And I have my son. Everything's getting illuminated. It will be in the eye of the realm of the people. This isn't secret. So a little bit of a pause. It could be by summer. He will be gone from office, according to these cards. King of Cups, Biden's term, walking away, and Ace of Cups, summer. Things get better. The evil's gone.
But I think that's from the insurrection. I don't think that's from his.
I don't have woman cards. It
Mm-hmm.
just says, whatever dirty dealings he's done, I have justice and judgment, a tower coming upon him. The
Mm-hmm.
truth is coming, the sun, the Knight of Swords, the investigation upon him is continuing. So it doesn't show he's a free man. So whether it's part of that case, bribery, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
insurrection, don't worry, Matty Ice is going to be in trouble.
Good.
I've always seen it. Every time I read on it, it's like justice comes every single time. And if it's part of the insurrection, we're going to see other Republicans too, like Scott Perry.
Mm-hmm.
The other one from, isn't there another one from Texas? What the heck's his name? Or Arizona too. No, it's Arizona. There's Gomard, and then there's this Arizona dude. God,
Gosart?
named it. Oh,
Gosart?
Gozar's in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like those. There's like 11 that were at that meeting the day
Right.
before in the White House. Those types. Mr. Jack isn't going to let them go. I don't believe this at all.
Oh, by the way, we got a
Okay,
message from
with that
someone.
dude.
I don't freeze when you freeze. I just keep flowing right through.
Yeah, you can continue to read if I'm gone. It's good your connection stays.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fox News. Big news came out with them.
Oh yeah.
Dominion got Discovery on the text, and they all said they're lying.
Mm-hmm.
They still won't say it on air. They still avoid the subject.
Well, because as long that's the audience they want to keep, but we ought to look at Newsmax too and see if they're going to win their case against the cable companies to get put back on.
Okay.
Phone news. Let's see. Phone news.
So you've seen that Newsmax is fighting them getting taken off?
Yes. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's stupid because that's all contractual.
Huh?
There's no fight there.
It's a private company. They're not the airwaves. It's not like the
Yeah,
government's feeling they can't be on.
you
And
create
they
a
don't have the
contract.
money. They don't have the money to do the infrastructure to be able to run a real broadcasting station.
Right. You don't have enough viewers. It's not worth the advertising of a company to put your show on.
That's
So
right.
that's retarded. But anywho,
I always sort of hoped there's, with the 60 some, 70 some percent of people who thinks Fox News is absolute crap. The only thing is Fox News has a concentrated group that support them. But I've called the cable company and said, why can't I just selectively tell you to not send that junk into my house? And once a year I have this conversation with them. And they're not happy to have it with you. But
okay. Fox News Revelation.
this is a 10
We've
card.
always gotten Dominion's going to win a bunch of money.
Oh yeah. And it's the amount of money that will even bleed into Fox's world. And it's what shocked me was all they were looking at is the story true? Is it right? Am I getting anything right? No. Is it hurting our stock prices? That's all they concerned about, especially Tucker. Oh, they're in pain.
Secrets. There's still more secrets to come out.
Mm-hmm. They're
Behind
going
the
to try to
scenes.
make as much as they can on their way out.
Oh, yeah. It's not looking good for Fox News in the future. Everything
No.
they've done in the past, the lawyering, the Queen of Swords lawyer woman's coming in here,
Mm-hmm.
and the Eight of Swords. They did it to themselves. They're gonna they're gonna have to pay a lot of money. They're in
Yeah.
trouble. They're gonna lose stuff. They're gonna lose money from everything that comes to the light. They're gonna have to rebrand and transition because things
Hmm.
are gonna get different. They're losing money, everything that's coming out of the sun, and it's going through dark times, transitioning.
Hmm.
There's still secrets to come out. They're talking, those anchors are talking behind the scenes and arguing. So we have the page ones, the argument card, and then dark secrets at. So
Hmm.
they're trying to figure out behind the scenes. They're all like fighting amongst each other behind these
Hmm.
anchors. What to do? They know they're in trouble.
Yeah, I got they've wasted all this time and training they've done in their lives, and they're getting absolutely smashed. There was a point in the past where they had a chance to turn it around somewhat. I mean, they'd still be who they are, but not like it's been, not those kind of lies. It was completely out of balance. I don't know if they thought no one else is listening to this. I mean, and it's made, well, I don't, but it's really causing them incredible financial heartaches. And then their fear is that it's all going to come down. The whole tower is going to come down on them.
Ooh,
And
tower.
right now, all they're hanging on to is that they're living in the comfortable little space they are. But this is what's coming for them: judgment. It's coming, and they're way too weak. They don't have anything to battle against it. They want to battle, but they can't. But this is their out card. Their money is going away. So this is how they feel. They all feel like they're poisoned. They'll never be able to work again.
Yeah, you know, a long time ago, a couple of years ago, I was seeing like someone getting fired and having to do podcasts or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, isn't that what the really obnoxious one that did get fired? Isn't that what he
They
does? Is
probably all do. I
yeah.
never have looked, but
I don't. I don't. I like certain podcasts. I'll listen to them, but there are not many that I really like. I have enough other stuff to stuff in my
yeah,
head.
there's a lot of good people out there that do them. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of those internet lawyers have been at NBC, but if you watch a bunch of them or listen, they're all the
Hmm.
same. They're
Yeah.
they're recovering the same things, and it's good news. But I have a couple I watch. So okay. Oh my God, the Satan! What a horrible man, governor. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I hear, Abbott's not that much better. Oh gosh, a lot of questions. Thank you. Um,
You asked a lot of questions on the one day we were that he's going to be chucked out by the maids as they
yeah,
throw.
as soon as the maid knocks, I'm out of here probably. I'm supposed to get out of here in 2 minutes actually, but I'll wait for a door knock maybe. Okay. Yeah, I had something about two. Okay, we'll go to the Satan because I got two things.
Okay.
Um, Getting rid of the AP courses, college, replacement. Okay, he's bending into
He's becoming a caricature.
the federal government here.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it feels like our Justice Department's going to be stepping in with something. It's like he's teetering on affecting the Department of Education or something. That the funds
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
something. Something feels really off to me. I mean, like there's only so much authoritarianism you can get away with, and then you're going into federal laws.
Well, it's not just that. If you're a parent and you're sending your kid to school for 12 years and absolutely none of the credits your child takes is going towards them getting into colleges, what are you going to do?
True.
You
You gotta take
know.
certain to get into college, right? Good point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, I see either a TikTok or a quick video. This teacher in trying to do all these changes and stuff have to be done by the teacher themselves, and then forwarded what they're doing to the Department of Education in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So a teacher has enough to do, let alone their average pay.
Mm-hmm.
So his proposal is going to supposedly make the teacher do more work to give the curriculum what they're doing, like a back and forth kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's
and if all the teachers, there'd be a few that'd go down, and if they all rallied around and paid their legal costs, if all the teachers got together and just said, "No, we're doing it this way," it's like they made them strike their libraries. They couldn't have a library until they had
right.
these book police that could go through and make sure that there wasn't a book in there they didn't like. How are they going to find every teacher does that? The problem is that DeSantis has turned the parents against the teachers, so the parents are turning the teachers in. Unless they walk in and there's like no books to read at the back of the room, and there's no.
My God, unreal, this man.
He's giving
No,
me a headache.
my first card is a tower.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a drastic change, a failure to what he's doing. So let's see where else it goes. Yeah, bottom of the deck, he's going to have to walk away from this funding. Six of Cups. What he's done here is going to have to change with the Chariot. Biden administration, better things coming in.
Yeah, by summer I see a whole lot
Yeah,
of.
I have summer or autumn next fall before school starts, kind of feeling. Yeah, he's gonna have to change completely. Otherwise, he's gonna have lawsuits and a 10 of Swords coming in if he don't change. Yeah, it feels like the feds are gonna come in because this is wrong.
Yep.
This is, to me, it feels like, our federal Department of Education and funding and stuff. Once you start losing teachers, possibly too.
Oh, they've lost them. They don't have nearly enough teachers. My nieces used to teach special ed in Florida, and it was a mess then. This card's here. This is spring. This is my timing card, and this is what's going to happen to them. And this in a traditional deck is the devil. So they're coming for him, and it's because the people of Florida finally realize, man, we've done all this stuff, and they're really living with a lot of regret.
B. Perez this. That man.
Mm-hmm.
A horrible, horrible man. So other news. I had to look it up again, but there was the AG he fired when he stated he wasn't going to prosecute abortion cases.
Mm-hmm.
DeSantis said he was violating the law, his law, and fired him, an elected official.
Mm-hmm.
The appeals court, or federal judge, whatever, said, yes, his case can move forward. He's suing DeSantis to get his job back.
Mm-hmm.
It was illegal, and the federal judge he first went to said yes. He has a case here, it can move forward to the Supreme Court in Florida. And DeSantis is fighting it. So what's going to happen in this case? Moving to the Supreme Court. It's Andrew Warren, I think. Yeah, Andrew Warren of Florida. A county or whatever AG. And he was fired or suspended without pay. But it's moving forward.
I'm going to ask if Andrew Warren's going to win his case.
Yeah, I've seen that too, Christina, that they're trying to replace teachers with not even certified. There was some talk about they were like military veterans giving him a certification to teach or something. Some craziness he was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, back to Andrew Warren. Case to be before the Supreme Court, getting fired by Ron DeSantis.
It doesn't look like he's going to win at the Supreme Court. He's going to get there, but there'll be no change. There'll be all sorts of lies said and used within the court. It's going to be an ace of swords backwards, the ace of cups backwards, and the bad guys win. And it's because the issue is abortion. It's not the level of his work. They're going to say it's because he has control over his work, but
Well,
they want to.
according to that federal, just I haven't thrown my cards yet. I just started, but according to the federal judge, it has nothing to do with abortion. It's something about saying his firing was illegal.
Yeah,
Not
because
why.
he was elected by the populace, and he
Right.
didn't do anything that was moral turpitude or a thing like that that he could get removed for. But what I think they're going to say it's not abortion, but they're going to say that it's his right as governor to do that.
Okay.
And they're going to be doing it because of abortion. That's just one more swing for popular Supreme Court.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird throw here because I have it feels like the rule of law here and justice, but it's a transition here. Transition from community service, strength and courage and balance here, which is kind of weird, but it feels like this represents him or could be in the courts, but it feels like rule of law.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have a new path of the page of coins, ace of coins, but then the hermit. So it's like the hermit here feels like the contemplation of the courts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you got to illuminate, think about it. Ace of coins could be the rule of law to prosperity.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a and Knight of Swords doing what's right and moving on. It feels like it's dismissed. So even though he's got a case here, but with the
Mm-hmm.
Six of Swords, moving on from it, and the Knight of Swords technically isn't a positive revelation.
Mm-hmm.
So they're looking at it in an investigative way, doing the right thing, but moving on. So that would tell me they aren't going to rule in his favor. They're just
Mm-hmm.
going to say this, this, and this. It's more of a legal case than a firing case. It just feels like the Satan has got an out. And
Mm-hmm.
even though this first federal judge said he believes laws were broken, I think it feels correct that the Supreme Court there in Florida is going to be divided by one or something like that to rule against his case. So technically, there's no winning here because it's in the courts and everything, exposure. Unfortunate there.
Scott,
Okay.
Scott,
Yes.
what do you think about the cracks they're beginning to see happen around Putin in Russia? And another general he died, and he didn't die by being allergic to gravity. He actually put a bullet in his own head.
Really? I didn't
Yeah.
hear that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and
Last
he
one I heard. Last one I heard fell out of a six-story window.
no, this wasn't an allergy to gravity. This was a bullet through his head. It was in his vacation home. He had just been dismissed. He was one of the people that was supposed to be raising up more troops, and they couldn't find them. I mean, they were not turning in the number of troops, so he was dismissed from his command. And I'll tell you how good the Russian records are in their military. One story in the Russian news said he was 82 years old, and another one said he was 67 years old. So, I mean, they don't know how old their generals are. The few that are left, you think they're
Okay.
hurt.
So you want to check on the energy of the dissent within the
Yes.
Kremlin?
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
There's been a lot of oligarchs and generals pass away.
If I were the generals, I know who said I'd be putting a bullet in. Plus, he was extremely embarrassed. You saw the woman who was the producer, who did the banner behind the main news thing. She held up a banner, said "No war," and then there was stuff in Russian, and then said "Leave Ukraine." And she got arrested, of course, immediately. That's when they said you could get arrested for holding up a blank piece of paper. Didn't even have to say anything on it. She's
Right.
been under house arrest for not quite a year, and she was due to go to trial next couple weeks. She pops up in Paris. She and her daughter were smuggled out of Russia, and they showed up at a news conference with the Free Press Without Borders, and she said she didn't want to discuss her way out, but they took her across Russia in 7 different cars, dropped her off a quarter of a mile from the border of the country she walked into, and she and her daughter walked in there with documents to say who was accepting them on the other side. She's now in Paris, and the Russians are furious because it shows how porous they are. So,
Hmm.
ooh,
I. Okay. The Queen of Coins comes out here first for me, so
mm-hmm,
that feels like Mother Russia.
mm-hmm,
Usually it's my Empress card, but this one, because it's my biggest Earth card, I represent that as Earth, so I feel
mm-hmm,
like Mother Russia. So uh, the Kremlin's going down here soon.
mm-hmm,
It's in a tower moment. Mother Russia's in a tower moment. Great losses among the troops. My biggest loss card. It's
mm-hmm,
like this card here is like Three of Swords amplified. The way I made it, it's a total loss. We're in a tower moment for Mother Russia. Total loss.
mm-hmm.
Within the Kremlin, there's decisions being made, and a lot of struggles with the Five of Swords. And soon there's going to be news.
Mm-hmm.
Soon there's going to be news about the war. There's
Mm-hmm.
internal struggles in the Kremlin. Honestly, I don't think it's Putin. I still don't. He may be gone.
Yeah, I don't know who's doing it, but
Um, I see a creative among the leaders. There feels like behind the scenes there's a. So this card is like the Kremlin or the
mm-hmm.
internal workings of the Kremlin kind of feeling. The Queen of Swords is like this creative idea of how to move on, and they're worried about
Getting caught.
the war crimes, how to balance out this war crimes going on around the world, end the
Mm-hmm.
war to look victorious. So it didn't tell me anything in my throw about the dying ones. I guess I just thought of it more as a whole of what's
Right.
going on. They're, according to this, they're looking for a way out
Mm-hmm.
internally. No matter what we see on the outside,
Mm-hmm.
looks like the Kremlin's looking for a way out here without repercussions. But there's that war. They got that war crimes
Mm-hmm.
looming over them. So I could toss again while you are about the
I
ones.
got in the middle. I've got they know their beat. I mean, they already know their beat, and what they're working on now is how to set some new goals so they don't look like they were totally smashed. But it's not going to happen because the sunlight's going to come in. I see that as Ukraine's sunflower. Ukraine's going to have the victory, and Russia just they have nothing left. They have nothing left to work with, and especially now that in Munich, all the European countries have said, yeah, we're going to give them the other arms they need to push you back come spring. And so Russia thought it had the strength, but it doesn't.
I grabbed my Oracle deck
Mm-hmm.
just to see what it says. Um, I asked about Putin himself.
Mm-hmm.
he's part of the universe, I think. Here,
Mm-hmm.
there's a struggle. Then I have believe what's in front of you. You see,
Mm-hmm.
they're losing, so this is in the motion.
Mm-hmm.
We have a betrayal going on here, and there's going to be a downfall.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not saying the cards I tossed, whether he's not of this world, but possibly. It's really tough with his energy, but he could be cryogenically right now or something because I don't see him walking around. But this is also saying he's part of the
Mm-hmm.
universal world of um, soul energy.
Yeah, I pulled from your deck too just to see, and that's the first card I got was the first one you got. Believe what's right in front of you.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
When you see videos of him shaking and looking ill and bloated,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing.
That guy's not in good
So I
shape.
think there's deception going on within the Kremlin.
And then the other one I pulled is if you don't listen, you can't resonate. So they haven't listened for a long time to the clues. They're just going down. I mean, like a rock.
Okay, let's switch here.
Okay. Oh, here's another person who looks like he's half dead.
Doesn't he always, Pasty Pence?
He has ever since I was like, is that a caricature?
is, is Mr. Pence going to slow down
Okay.
Jack Smith and really win his appeal that speech and debate he cannot testify?
I'm just going to ask if he's going to have to testify to the DOJ.
Yeah, you can do it. You want it. Sometimes it comes out in one spread for me, and other times I need to do it separately.
Mm-hmm.
Depends what I sense and what it's telling me. But anyway, the main focus is the challenge. Cards flipped over while I was shuffling 10 of coins. I think there's plenty of information to back up his nonsense with others testifying.
Just the fact that they can drag it out into days of testimony instead of just saying, this is a dumb argument, stop it, I've got, this is where Pence is now. He's doing the Two of Swords. I can't talk. This is what he's got coming up against him, the devil. And, and he's, I know. Now he's trying to, he's, he's looking at what loss there's going to be to his reputation. Like that's in his mind only. But there's a loss of a lot of other people. And I think it's going to have to go forward because the Ace of Swords showed up. And the end is the magician, and that's a yes, that magician. And what it is will he have to testify on the pertinent information? I think there may be things I can lock out, but
No. The first card I got was justice. So the rule of law is going to be on him. Strength is always my constitution, the way that's supposed to be. That's why I got, yeah, the star, he's going to have to talk. There's severe anxieties here with him because of the former guy with the King of Coins.
Mm-hmm.
Behind the scenes, I think there's some fighting within.
Oh yeah,
The whole faction. 45 and Pence and his aides and whatnot. There may have been some. What do you call it? Compromise behind the scenes. Like I had this on you, you better shut your mouth. That kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Because I also have the moon, so there's some secrets behind the scenes that we don't know about. And kind of funny, also next to that. I picked and choose which cards because it told me a story.
Mm-hmm.
So next to the anxiety that I already pulled out, the Nine of Swords, was the Hangman.
Oh,
With the whole noose and stuff at January 6th.
it's kind of an irony consider the person we're talking about.
So a little bit, I would kind of feel like with this, he's also worried that there may be some legal implications for him, that he didn't
I
do everything perfect.
I think in my heart of hearts, he's worried that some of those whack jobs are going to come and try to get him again. I don't know
Well, it
how,
could be,
I don't know how
but
you
no.
knock out of your mind hang Mike Pence.
I think the fly already testified. That's hilarious. I love it.
Yes, yes, I remember that fly. It's perfect.
Okay. Oh my gosh. 50 minutes. Yay. We go so fast. We did Pensy. Did you hear anything about Abbott trying to get rid of polling?
Oh, they already tried that last time. It didn't work. And in the places where they did get it pulled off the campus, organizations just got buses that picked the kids up and took them where they needed to go. It won't
Good
work. You
deal.
know, college students, tell them no, and they'll find a way around you.
Okay, let's shift. We have to worry about North Korea.
Mm.
You know,
I always worry about them when they're not in the news a lot, and I think they should be.
you froze a little bit for me. What did you say about North Korea?
They when they're not in the spotlight and they think they should be, or China wants to deflect from themselves, they'll pressure because that's their breadbasket. That's the only reason North Korea is still there. They'll get them to roll a missile out somewhere to deflect from China, and China knows it's in a lot of trouble right now. I saw an article 2 weeks ago, and it was someone who's inside China who put together a compilation, and it was like these 100 people that were leaders in their thoughts, regardless of whatever their political affiliations. They've all died of COVID. I mean, it's like having the top industrialists here gutted and people who know how to make things work. There aren't a whole lot of them left in China, but I'm going to see. I'm going to see if the threats from North Korea are really China. So that's what I really think. I don't think North
Oh yeah.
Korea thinks for itself.
I mean, I sensed a long time ago when we read on it that
Hmm.
Kim Jong Un was supposedly undead for a while.
Oh
I
yeah.
felt like that was the opportunity where China actually took over.
Hmm. Yeah, it was his sister today who announced something about the missiles this morning.
And my sister did.
Yep.
Hmm.
No, I got this one. North Korea is doing it all on its own. It's trying to alienate everybody. It doesn't want new beginnings. It doesn't want anyone to look too close at its leadership. It has no leadership, and it really wants to be. It just wants, in some way, the pain to go away from itself. But uh, I don't think the threats are coming from China. But I'm going to see if they're going to follow through on any of their threats.
Yeah, I get. They're trying to keep their. So I have what they're doing. So all those missiles and so it's like a message. So
Mm-hmm.
I got the page lines for like these missiles and stuff, and what they're doing is like a message, and it's for life's purpose, but it's overruled by a different entity of the Empress. So I'm thinking the Empress here would be China, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a purpose upon what they're doing for another entity. They rely heavily on the authority of chess. With my 8 of coins
Mm-hmm.
to the Queen of Swords, that dark authority here, and the Knight of Wands. It feels like they're controlled by them because of finances.
Right.
Because North Korea is deeply, deeply broke.
Mm-hmm.
Deep Page of Coins, complete disaster, and a Page of Coins. They need money. They need financing. So we'll do what you want as long as you keep us going and helping us out here. So I think yeah, they're doing it to rile up
But they're not going to follow through on it.
others
They're
in coordination with Xi.
Okay. They're false. They're lying. They feel trapped, but they're doing what they think they should do. They're not going to make a real decision. That's 4 no's. And the 2 yeses they have is there's going to be a change coming over the country, and it's going to help people get more of what they wish. But I don't. These are totally empty threats. It's got nothing to do with what's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't. As how horrible what's going on with, they're showing me there's no escalation to that point over there, with Taiwan or whatever. It feels like empty threats, kind of like testing their authority, that kind of this weirdness. But let's pray that's not good. Yeah, the U.S. and China, music, we need each other globally, economically. Yeah, I've seen that. Kim Jong's daughter has been promoted out there lately. Little 12-year-old going to rule. Okay. What is this one?
We have a question. Okay.
How many Republicans have falsified their education? Oh, yeah, there's been 3. There's been 3 now that been reported that.
I missed the Andy Ogles person. I heard about Anna Luna Polina.
Yeah, Andy just maybe a day or 2 ago.
Where is he from?
Utah, maybe? Or Idaho? Somewhere out that way. One of the middle states there. I can't remember. I just briefly read about it. It just came out like Friday, maybe, about him. I think I was wondering if there's any more. And these are all newbies.
I know. They were all recruited to, you can run here and get this. He's from Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee. Okay. I knew it was a middle state, kind of. Allison texts me. She says she's back. A minute, please.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I will. Yeah, I'm going to be checking out here. Yeah, they want me out. Last one.
Yeah, last one. I'm just going to say they're going to find some more.
The greed.
Well, that guy, Andy Ogles, is old. He was born in 1971. He's 50-some years old.
Unreal. Housekeeping wants me out.
Okay. Well, it's been lovely, Scott. I've never seen you thrown out of a room before, but it's kind of an interesting end of the day. I'll be on Dozen Cats. Kelly's channel, Dozen Cats for me. And it's got a 4 as a 4. And I will be talking with Scott later this week as he rushes out to be thrown out in the street. Is it cold up there?
No, it's like 40 some. It's not too bad.
Oh, okay.
Well. Been kicked out of better joints. Yeah, I knew they were gonna.
And he's freezing.
I'm like a half hour. I figured they'd be knocking soon.
And they did 59, 39. Man, they're on top. They must want that room, Scott.
David wants your hair, Nancy.
Oh, okay. It's going to be more purple tomorrow. I have to fix it tonight.
Yeah.
The purple hair fairies are going to come visit. Anyway, it was lovely being with everybody.
Yes. Thank you for joining me again.
No, it was fun.
And blessings to everyone and have a beautiful weekend.
Okay, bye bye.